Hello and welcome everyone. This is Qlik Meetup session number 9 about versioning in Qlik Sense. And today our special guest is Alex Poloratov. And he has a very interesting approach on versioning. I don't know if any of you have been attending our first meetup session, which was also about versioning with Konrad Matthijs. And yeah, I'm curious how it evolves and what new features Alex can bring to the subject, which yeah is of course interesting to all of us. So hello and welcome, Alex.
Hi, Bernard. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very appreciated to be here today because it's really good opportunity to travel around the world. So today I'm in Austria and maybe tomorrow I will be anywhere else. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Great. So just because before I hand over to you, let me just make some brief housekeeping to yeah to tell the people how we are having our sessions usually. So this is, let's say, an open discussion. You are very welcome to ask questions. I basically enabled you to unmute yourself. Yeah, so feel free to ask questions. You can of course ask them later on in the panel. And yeah, as I pointed out before, this is recorded and I will put it on my YouTube channel later on. Yeah, if something very wrong happens, I can cut it out, so don't worry too much about that. Yeah, and with that out of the way, let's hand it over to Alex.
Yeah, so at first, let me please share my screen. Yep. Oops. So do you see my screen?
Yes.
Let me. Okay, great. Thank you. So let me enlighten a little about myself, about company, and about the topic of our session today, because I think it's important to discover a little bit dive into the topic. So my name is Alex Poloratov. I'm Qlikarian in Central Asia. And I'm founder of Git and Qlik Sense integration tool with more than 1,000 installation over the world at this moment. So and also I'm co-founder of the Datanomics.pro company. It's Qlik World 2022 breakout session speakers, and we have more than 20 certified Qlik Sense business analysts and data architects. It's important to focus because that's why we started to develop our extension in the 2019, because in 2019 we just started to resolve problem with version control in Qlik Sense environment, because everyone in my team have web development background, and in web development you have a Git version control tool to versioning your scripts, your information, I mean about your application, and it's a really cool tool. And when we started to develop application in Qlik, we just figured out that, oh my god, we haven't got such tool in Qlik Sense. Why we haven't got that? So we need to bring this tool to community. We need to integrate Git and Qlik. So because before that we have pretty simple situation, yeah, that we have many copies of the Qlik Sense applications in our work stream, and we always trying to figuring out where is the production ready copy of the application, who is the owner of production ready application copy, and how to merge merge different parts of the same application, but from the different developers, and it was a really challenge for us without our tool. So, and that's why, as I said, we called it 9 circles of dev copy hell, because you spent dozen bunch of time to figuring out where is the final version of the app, and let's publish the final version without any uh, problems after that. So, and what we delivered, I will start from a small overview, helicopter view, and after that, I will show our process, our workflow, development workflow with our tool, and you can feed my demonstration of the workflow to your needs and ask any questions about that, and I'm ready to answer maybe many questions about technical side, if you want to know more about it, or maybe from the manager view, how to incorporate this tool in your development team. So feel free to ask any questions. So our tool is simple Chrome extension that you can install in your browser, and our extension just communicate from one side with Qlik API and from the other side with any of Git provider that you have in your organization. It could be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Gitya, AVS Commit, and other Git providers. So we support in many versions and many instances of Git providers. So you also can see a list of supported Git providers on our website, or just ask a question and later I will show you which Git providers do we support. So, and last year, our product was acquired by a US-based company that called Motio, but I'm still in charge of GitLab development and product management. So that's why I'm here today, and that's why I will show you how to use our product in your development workflow. We have a freemium version. I mean, you can start to use it for free in your organization, and it will bring all business values for you that I will show. So let me start from the main question: who produced change in self-service BI ecosystem? And let's divide. Let's create 3 groups of users. Yeah, it's casual users that work in published application. I mean, application in streams or spaces if you use Qlik Cloud. The second group is power users, so users who can create reports from scratch or Qlik application from scratch, and Qlik administrators, yeah, who administrate your Qlik ecosystem, who create security rules, load balancing rules, custom properties, tags, and other Qlik objects. So we have 3 different roles or groups in our ecosystem, and what objects do casual users produce? We know that it could be bookmarks, it could be snapshots, it could be some sheets, community sheets, I mean, it could be stories, it could be bookmarks, etc. So, and this activity, this behavior of user in your environment, yeah, you have published application, you have maybe dozens casual users who produce change in your environment, and on other side we have developers, and we create application just from scratch, and our workspace is looking like on my example. You have just workspace and you have many copies of application, and so you have 2 different groups of users who produce different changes. And in our workflow, I mean, in our company, as a consultancy firm, we are using 2 different solutions for our customers and for our internal needs. We use Sater, Sater is software that could automatically catch change in the background mode, and it collect all changes in your environment by your business users who have access in published applications, but they don't want to create application from scratch, but they creating community sheets. So they publish community sheets, they created bookmarks and other objects that they can create with professional license in Qlik environment, but they don't create and don't want to know about Git, about version control. They just want to use Qlik or Qlik Cloud. And for these needs to collect their changes and to collect changes in my Qlik server, I mean changes in security rules, change in load balancing rule, we are using Sater. And for developers needs and our developers, they are using Qlik. And today the main topic is Qlik because we have many features that could make development workflow manageable. You could manage, and I will show you. You can manage developer workflow. You can link issues and tickets from your ticketing system with maybe with a commit. I mean, with version of your dashboard, and you can compare different versions from one window in your Qlik application without any tab switching, without any other browser window, just in your browser, just in your Qlik application. You can just compare different version of load scripts, of dashboards, etc. I will show you. Yeah, as I said, I have Saters that catch automatically all changes in my environment without any manual activity from the users, because we scan log files and we just catch modifications and store it with zero touch. We called it zero touch version control. And for power user, for developers, we have Qlik. And so let me change.
May I just ask, does Soter and
Yep.
Qlik have the same backend?
It's very cool question about backends, because in Qlik we haven't got backend. We just like a butler who can ask Qlik API that, hey, could you please give me your dashboards? I will store it into your Git provider. And we call from the other side Git provider API and just transfer JSON from Qlik server to your Git provider. And I will show you. And Sater, it also use Qlik API and store and could store into the Git, change into the Git, or could store into the Postgre database. You can choose.
Okay, so the default setup might be Postgres because it will be installed by default, and the Git you have to configure and link.
Yeah, Git you need to configure, but what I see that many organizations have Git in their environment because they have another development team. And their development team, I mean, it could be Java developers, Python developers, or other developers who are in organization are using Git as their version control tool. So, yeah, let me please share another screen. Yeah, I want to stop my sharing and do it again. Okay, cool. So let me please start from dashboard. Do you see dashboard?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this dashboard based on the data from GitHub. GitHub, it is a Git provider, very popular Git provider. And we use GitHub in my team as a main Git provider. So you see the economics.pro, and we have many repositories here. And each repository, it is a Qlik application. And we will come back here. We will come back here and I will show what we store in each Git repository. So, and here what we see a dashboard that based on GitHub data, and it contains many information about all our applications that we are storing in GitHub. And as example, I just want to use one application that calls sales analysis. It's an example that we created for our demo session today. So I just select sales analysis application. And here I see history of issues of tickets that link to these selected applications that call sales analysis. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. I see 4 issues there with the title. You can see here performance degradation, add custom report on average item per check measure, create test sales up, etc., etc. It's for tickets. It was 4 tickets in my ticketing system that linked to this application. Let's take a look and deep dive into my repository. So I just started from the end, from the end of the workflow, because for now we have some sort of application here, and we already stored it in our GitHub. And when I pressed the link, I just located on the GitHub page of my application that calls Soter Sales Analysis. And here we see many folders, 2 folders, objects and data load script. And if we will take a look here, we see 4 script load script sessions, 3 load script sessions here, and order of that script sections. And what we see here, we see objects folder, and object folders contain JSON files with serialized dashboard. So your serialized dashboard, and that's how we version your dashboard. We just divide your dashboard into different JSON object. Each sheet contain JSON object here. So, but it's maybe it's too many technical details. Yeah, so let's go back and take a look to the application. Here you see Qlik app button, and we render this button for all Qlik users because, as I said, Qlik is just browser extension. And if you have installed Qlik in your Chrome browser, you will see this button in your Git provider. It means that Qlik detect that this Git repository, this Git repository linked with some application in your Qlik environment. And with this knowledge, we can just redirect you to the particular application in your environment. And here we go. So, and here we are in published application, in published version from this repository.
Okay.
And let's imagine that we have a new task, new issue from our manager, BI manager. And he told us that we need to add titles for each KPI object on this particular dashboard. Add title for KPI objects. Each KPI must contains title. And let's create issue. We have issue number 5. So, and from developer point of view, now let's start to modify our dashboard. What we have to do? At first, we have to do the copy of this published application. And for doing that, I will press on Qlik button and go to the duplicate app. Do you see pop-up window?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's pop-up window of our Qlik extension. You can duplicate this, and we have two required fields there. It's called branches, and it is a branch in your Git repository. You can look at this as a sandbox. So Qlik provide you ability to create some isolated sandbox of your changes, and you must to name it, title that. Let's call it Alex Austrian, and the app is Sales Analysis Austria, and press duplicate button. So under the hood, we call Qlik API methods to make duplicate of the app. And because of security rules, I can duplicate apps, but if my role model in my Qlik environment couldn't provide me this ability, Qlik couldn't create duplicate app. But in our environment, we have security rules, and I can duplicate this published app. And let's go into the duplicated app. So, and now we are in duplicated app. At first, let's maybe take a look at the extension. Here, I just click on Qlik icon. And here I see list of different versions of this application from my Git repository. I see a link to the Git repository, and I see that I'm located in isolated environment that called branch, and title of the branch is Alex Austria. And let's go to the particular dashboard and just resolve the issue, because my BIM manager want to see titles here. He don't want to see this type of titles. Yeah, he want to see this title. And let's create sales. And do it again. Receipts. Okay, and let's commit our change to our repository. Here we see a button that called Save Changes. It means that if you will press it, you have to specify message, because message is required, and you have to type some description about your changes. And here we see another icon. If we will press it, Qlik automatically detect what was changed from the last version, and it detects and provide you a comment that we detect that object changed was sheet overview. And here we can just add maybe link to the issue, because the issue was number 5, has number 5, and we just link our change with the issue. And let's commit our change.
But the objects that have been modified, it's not listing, right? It's just committing everything now.
For now, what we commit, yeah, I can show you, yeah, to answer your question. Let's switch here. So what we see here we see our commit message and link to the issue. And we can deep dive here, and we see our changes. So we commit that show titles became true because it was false. And now we have a title. And the change was only this particular file.
And is there an option to select what to commit?
So for now, if you press save changes, it will commit every change that you made during the session. I mean, before your save change button was clicked. So for now, you can't select what particular change you want to commit because it just grab all modifications since the last version. It will commit to your browser. But it's a good point. Thank you, Bernard.
No, because I'm just thinking if you split up tasks, for example, and one is working on the titles and another guy is working on the script, yeah, and if they both do it at the same time and they commit, they could override each other, couldn't they?
You mean if they will working on the same sheet?
Yeah, no, in the same app.
In the same app, but different sheets, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, for doing that, you can just use pull requests in your Git provider because you won't have conflicts. But you won't have conflicts only if different developers working on different pieces of application. For instance, one developer's working on load script, and another developer will work on the
Like
on the
API
visualization
object or
layer.
something.
Yeah, modify objects, and you can just combine. I will show you later. You can just combine modification from different pieces in one working copy.
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question here. So
Yeah.
basically, because if they're working on their personal work, because personal space with their
Yeah.
own, right? So how the conflicts will come, like, or either you're using the common ID. So that's what I was trying to understand. Like how.
Yeah. Let's discuss it maybe later. I will show a scenario where we have two different copy of the same application, and we will resolve conflicts between changes, and you will see how we can resolve it. Yeah, because we have our repository, and repository is something like a centralized database of all your changes. And that's why in every copy of the application in workspace, you can look at your centralized database of changes and pick what you want to transfer from one developer or the second developer in your particular instance of application. Yeah, let's go back here. And what I want to show you also, it's a tool for easy comparing different versions of the dashboard, and it could be helpful again for resolving conflicts. What I mean, let me please make another change here. Let's maybe delete chart, and let's create another KPI here. So yeah, make a little disaster. Okay, and let's commit our changes. Another modification of the dashboard overview. And let's commit it. Okay, now we have a list of our versions, and let's compare different version of our dashboard in our Visual Diff viewer. So this mode was activated, and it provides you ability to compare two different versions of the same application, but from one window. On the left side, you see current application state, and on the right side, you see selected from the timeline version. On the top of our screen, we see timeline with time points, and you can select any time point here. Let me please select this one, and it has rolled back to the selected time point here, and it highlighted changes because Qlik detect that we changed something in this particular object. You can press it here, and here we see that change was produced in appearance section, and on the selected version it was false value on show titles property, and on the particular on the current application state it is true, and we have a title sales. If you want to look at the JSON representation, you can do it here if you want.
And is the timestamp showing the timestamp of the last commit, or is it the time when you did the change in the app?
It is time of your, it's commit date and time. So it's, we just grab this date time from Git repository, and that it's the time of commits, date time of commits. Let's go back to another version. And if you want, you could roll back to the selected version. If you, and we can try it. Let's press apply button. And here you go. So we are on the, we have rolled back to the selected version. And if we want again to go to another version, I mean to the latest saved version, because for now we didn't save these changes. I mean result of our rollback operation. And that's why we can just press update here. And Qlik show to us information that we have some local changes here, and if we will press update, we will lost local changes. I mean result of your rollback operation. We can also save our rollback operation here, but in my in the current scenario, let's just lost our local changes. So I roll back again to the previous saved version, and you see here that the rollback was successfully done.
Would that also mean that the app ID is restored, or is the app ID still the same?
App ID is still the same. So we see that app ID is the same that on the start of our session, because we what we do under the hood, we just render another sheet of this application and showing you different on the right side. Just we render any version that you selected in timeline. So we do not need to change your app ID. That's how does it work under the hood. So and here what we can do. Here we see a button that called set a screenshot. It's pretty nice button that provides us ability to take a screenshot and automatically apply thumbnail.
Was it you who did that there was an extension or?
Yeah, I just press set a screenshot here.
there was a singular button that just did that. Forgot
Yeah,
where I found it. That was
yeah,
you, right?
yeah. So I just press take a screenshot button, and that's how does it work. We just programmatically take a screenshot of your sheet and upload it here in your with Qlik API. We just apply this thumbnail to this particular sheet.
Simple, but everybody needs that, I think.
Yeah, it's the most popular function. So, yeah, let's dive into the details. I mean, in our settings page, because I want to show you different Git providers that we supported. We supported GitHub, GitLab, and it could be public version of GitHub or public version of GitLab, and it could be corporate version of GitLab, Bitbucket, Bitbucket server. It means that Bitbucket it's just cloud version, and Bitbucket server it's a local on-premise version of Bitbucket. Azure DevOps, Gitya, and AVS. So, and these all Git providers that we are supported now, and you can pick anything that you want and anything that your organization support, and you can store your Qlik application in Git. Start to store. Yeah. So, and what I want to show you also is, as we discuss and you ask question, if you have another copy of application and we want just combine our change. So let's take a look. Let's create another version from published application. It will call Bernard sales analysis, and press duplicate button. So we have created another sandbox. Maybe we are the second developer, and the second developer he just he just want to modify load script maybe. And let's do it. Okay, and press load data. And in our organization, we have a workflow, we have a Slack or other corporate messenger where developers discuss some development stuff. Yeah, and so another developer who working on visualization layer, he's also a team leader. Yeah, I mean he doing code review and he just want to grab change of load script from this user to his particular version of application. And let's do it. Let's just wait to the end of the process. Maybe 5 million it's, or 50 million. Yeah,
I'm just curious about that because I'm coming, let's say, from a more corporate side, and from that side, you already put everything out of the script, and basically you have subroutines and libraries and stuff. So
yeah.
can you somehow incorporate that as well, or is it separated?
I can show you how you could reuse your
Yeah.
subroutines,
Because we
etc.
would not look, we would not change the script as you do. We would change the subroutine, which is stored in
Uh-huh.
a file.
And what do you use to change your subroutine? It's Visual Code Studio
Yeah,
or
yeah,
and you have include
yes.
comment in each section. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's
Because I would expect in a more corporate environment that this is, let's say, more common, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. So for that kind of scenario, we are focused on extended development, the developer's experience just from browser. So yeah. So that's why so we have load script here, and if you have a library of your subroutines, it could be imported from your repository by import button here, because we have here, for example, Rob Wonderlich Qlik view components, and you can just select here, press import button, and subroutines will be imported in your application. And we built something like dependencies file that contained information about what you imported in which application. And if you want to rebuild something or something like that, you can just create some CI/CD task for doing that. Because if you import from here, we are creating dependency file, and in dependency file we just add information about this application, use 3 subroutines from this library, 1 subroutine from this library, and 1 from another library. And if I want to publish to transfer this application to published production environment, I just run CI/CD task, and CI/CD task just to make some processes and it built the production ready application. It's more complicated workflow. I could share with you guys maybe on the next session if you have that option. Yeah, because today I just focus on browser browser development experience. So yeah, as a second developer, we have sales analysis copy application, and let's go back to the first developer point of view, where we have visualization layer, we have thumbnails, etc. And we know that the second developer has some load script changes. And as a team leader, I just want to grab his change into my version of the application. And let's go here.
And this is also a render from your...
Yep, it's rendered from our site. We just added this icon to data load editor. Oops, something goes wrong with my server. Oops, sorry. Okay, maybe let's try another example here. Oh no, yeah. So yeah, let's just import our change. So I know that this is Datanomics Qlik Soter sales analysis application. Let's go here, Qlik. Soter. Okay, where is it? There, sales analysis. And here we see Bernard, Austria. It's a branch or sandbox. Let's go into this. Oh, I didn't commit anything. Okay, yeah, let's save our changes because I didn't save it. So change transaction count to and save. So for now, we saved our change on the load script. And here we just switch to another version. I mean, version with our visualization layer as the first developer. Let's go here and import. And select Bernard, Austria. And let's maybe select all and press import button. And here we go, we see our changes here. If you want, we can side by side compare. So this is our current application, and this is our selected version of the application.
Mm-hmm.
And we have three different strategies here. We can keep current, we can overwrite from repo, and we can keep both. I mean script sections. And let's maybe select keep both rename. Let's apply for the all next conflicts that we have. So, and here we go. We have main section and we have imported main one section. Because we selected keep both versions, now we have both version here.
Mm-hmm.
If we will select another strategy, it could just overwrite your tab section. And here we can just rename, delete maybe our existing copy. So, and we have load script from the second developer. And if we want to do the same with master items, because maybe the second developers create some, modify our data model and create some master items. Let's do it. Duplicate and call it super item per check. And let's commit our change. So we are in the second copy of the application now and just create a new master item. Okay, so it was added. Yeah, I just switched to the first version, sorry. Go to the Qlik, import button. And here let's select our repository, sales analysis, and select Bernard, Austria, and go to the master items. And here we have super item per check. We can select this master item, super item per check, and press import.
That's cool.
And let's check. And here, super item per check. And another interesting behavior of Qlik. Let's go back to the second copy. I just want to quickly show you that we detect linked master item. I mean, if we have here some interesting master item, count plans items, new plan items. And let's commit this my new sheets. Okay, let's call it plan overview. And commit plan overview. Okay, cool. So, and if we will import this new sheet from our developer in this copy of application, Qlik will automatically detect that on the selected sheet there are maybe many master items. Let's go to the Bernard Austria. And here plan overview. So I selected only plan overview. And Qlik will automatically detect that on plan overview, there is a master item that linked and used in this selected sheet. And Qlik will transfer not only the particular sheet, it will transfer also linked master items. So I just press import button. And here, if we will go here, we see that it detects that new plans items was on the copy, and it just transfer here.
Mm-hmm.
And the same strategy is for variables. If we will have some variables on this sheet, Qlik will transfer not only the whole sheet and objects, but also linked variables and master items.
Okay. Maybe may I ask another question regarding
Yes.
the Git build up, let's say. Can I open up the structure in Git in order to see which master elements are there, and can I see the definitions of the master elements, or is it, let's say, just somewhere combined?
So for master items, what we are working on, I mean our product roadmap, we are starting to work on some sort of centralized repository of master items that could provide the ability to distribute the same formula, the same master item, and synchronize master items between many applications.
Yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah. For now, what we have, for now we have just a manual way to create application with data model, and this data in this application contain many measures, master items, I mean. And if I want to reuse some master item, I have to go to the import. I have to select here my library, because I have some repository with KPI libraries. I go to the libraries here, go to the master items, and look in the title that I want to see. If I want to look at the definitions and the formulas, etc., I have to go to the Git repository here, measures, and here we will see ID of your object. I mean, each JSON file, it's just a JSON object of your master item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. And this just a little bit polished. I would love to see. Yeah, but basically it's there. It's just
yeah, it's there, but
the
it's
internal
not
ID
easy to use.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah, and now we are working, as I said, some sort of master item manager that could provide the ability to maybe synchronize in background mode. Maybe if you just see this master library was changed, we can distribute it in an automatically way for all of the list of the application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second feature from our roadmap is release notes generator, not something like that. I mean, where we just show that only only dashboard was changed. We want to go deeper into the details and show that on this dashboard that called overview, there is a new chart that called total sales maybe, or KPI that called total sales current year, and it was changed by this user at that time, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because our users, I see that they want to something like release notes manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, to select, of course, to generate automatically what was changed, and after that to select changes and generate PDF file or some kind of file to distribute it to the business users by email or another channel of communications.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Thank you
So,
very much.
thank you, guys. If you have any other questions, just ask, or you could reach me out in LinkedIn or any other channels of communication. And also you can use our extension. You can just go to the Google and press Qlik, and here you have Chrome Web Store page. Our extension is featured by Google. It means that Chrome developers in person reviewed our code of our extension, and it is secured. Not all Chrome extension has that badge, because yeah, it's too hard to follow recommended practice for Chrome extensions, but we did it.
Okay. Congrats for that. Just one question regarding the APIs. Which Qlik APIs are you using?
Yeah, for different features we use different type of API. For instance, to upload thumbnail we use QRS API, Qlik Repository Services API. For dashboard rendering, it might be Qlik Engine API, I think. Yeah, and yeah, Qlik Engine and QRS API, it's the most frequently used APIs in our extension.
Okay. And I think it's clear, but I just want to mention it, but that there should be no issue if an object of the app is published or unpublished. It should still be included in the...
So we recommend to use our extension for developers' needs when developers working in work stream. Because if you will go to the published application, you have save change, etc., but it's not recommended way to use our extension. Because you have here community sheets, you have public sheets, etc. And so it's not the best practice to update published application by our extension, yeah, because you could have some development workflow with restricted rules how to update production application in published stream. So, but our extension work with published applications. If you have access by your security rules model.
Yeah. And security is just linked through your application, so there is no change in regards to the applied security rules.
It's just use the same security model that implemented by your security rules. So there is no any other security rules custom that you need to use our extension.
So do I have to log on to Qlik with my initials or?
No, we just know that if you are logged in your QlikSense environment and you use personal token from your Git provider, we just know how to authorize to your Git provider and your Qlik server, but we don't know this information. All information that you use in Qlik is on your local computer. There is no third-party servers that store your personal information. It's all on your local computer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
I just want to quick show you security rules manager, because we see if you will click on Qlik icon from your QMC, you will go into the security rules manager. And it's a manager where you can combine different versions of your security rules just side by side window.
Oh, that's very handy.
You can just select here if you have. I haven't got any any change, so but you can do it. And yeah, and another feature that we have, it called env migration. If you will go into Qlik from hub, you will go into env migration, and you can store your server objects, custom properties, security rules, data connections to Git repository too. And you can export to the Git repository, and you can import from Git repository. It's pretty nice feature if you have many environments or the same security rules in different environments, and you want just to distribute these security rules or load balancing rules maybe.
Yeah, that's cool. And we could save this postmaster, or how is it called? Postman. Really don't like postman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but here you, yeah, maybe scripting Postman you can schedule. Here you can do it manually. Yeah, you need to select something, type here, use existing repository, type commit message, and press export button.
That's
And
very
all
cool.
objects will export it to your repository. And you can import, of course. You can also import from JSON file if you want. If you have file of custom properties, you can just choose file and import here.
Okay. Just maybe one last use case I'm thinking of. Don't know if you can do it, but I'm just thinking. Let's say I have like hundreds of measures, yeah, which is just a variation of some KPI, yeah, and I want to add a condition, let's say, for all of those 100 measures. Is there some sort of way to automate that?
At the same condition, but in 100 measures, yeah?
Yeah.
I think it's a tricky question. You could because of
I
you
would expect it would be just a line in the JSON code. And if you
yeah.
can just add it to all the 100 measures.
So for now, what I can do, because I have all my applications and measures in repositories, I will just use maybe Visual Code Studio to navigate through all application and just find and replace operation. Maybe, yeah. But
Okay.
from Qlik interface, there is no any features that could help you with this situation. But it's good point. Another good point from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm thanking you. I mean, this is an issue. I mean, the versioning stuff is an issue. Basically, everybody must be experiencing, at least
Yeah.
from my expectations. So, and there are not so many solutions out there, and yours is a particularly interesting one because you just need this Chrome extension and
Yeah,
seems to work.
you just install and use it. And for the other kind of operations, I mean, in published application, as I said, we just use Sater application. It's just server-side applications that you install on your Qlik server, and it just catch all change from your environment, and in zero-touch mode, it just collect all changes and provide you some sort of audit trails for any version, but without linking with tickets for now. It just grab and all changes and store it.
Yeah, then thanks very much for the session. I mean, unless we don't have any further questions, let's conclude it here.
This is Jayashri here. Yeah. So basically, I was also like working on the Soter as well from Moshio.
Oh,
So what I know is Gitolok is a part of Moshio.
yes.
And Soter is also a part of Moshio. So,
Yes.
right, if I'm correct. So only difference is that it's basically the on-premise. So Soter is an on-premise where we have our servers and visualizations on a screen, whereas a Gitolok is more on the Git like repositories.
Yeah, but we have in our roadmap we have features that will integrate it with your Sater instance. If you have Sater instance, we will just provide you all these visual functionality, all these visual diffusers, etc. to you, because you have Sater as a repository of changes. And Gitclock, and Gitclock will be something like a visual interface for your changes.
Okay, that's what I'm just connecting the dots. So we in the roadmap we are planning for the integration of both.
Yes, of course we are working on this integration because, as I said, we are part of the Motio. Motio acquired our product last year, but I'm still in charge of the Gitclock, and we are working on development and integration with Sater.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good. So unless there are other questions, maybe may I just ask you to send me the presentation so I can put it on Google Drive or something to
Yes.
have it linked to the
Okay.
recording
Cool.
later on.
Yeah, with pleasure.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. It has been a session of great interest for me. I hope for others as well. Yeah, let's see what the feedback is. Thanks a lot, and I hope to have you back on another session later.
Thank you,
this year
Baron.
or maybe next year.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.